Hi Minecrafters! Welcome back to another Forever World log. It has been a really long time. I believe 7-ish months by this point. I didn't actually check the thingy, but it's been a while. I've been wanting to do these more often. I say that with like every type of series I have, but I kinda don't. Um, and I don't know if I'm gonna change that with this series, but here's to thinking maybe I will. Anyway, here is the newly updated map. There's been a lot of new changes since the months of not playing. Not as many as you would expect for 6 months because a lot of us were busy with college or simply not in the mood for Minecraft. But lately we have been doing a lot more things, and I've actually been doing some building, which is pretty neat. So I'll just show that stuff off. So first, actually, right at spawn is just a small little path I made. I do want to have a barrier of some sort for it, because, you know, it's kind of naked on the side, and I don't really like that. Um, but I think it looks decent. Having support beams and stuff makes it look okay. Um, but I do want to do more with this area, because it's not too special. Over here is a house that will blow up if you press the button inside, made by Sylvie. Someone pressed the button and it blew up, I guess. So, yeah, that's that. Over here, I copied some dude's abandoned house design. Not exactly, because there wasn't a schematic. There's actually only one angle of it online. So I kind of just did that and added my own touches to it. Just trying to make it look like more neat and abandoned and whatever for my taste. And I like how it turned out. A lot of it isn't exactly my original creation, but I don't know. I added my own individuality here, and I do think it looks pretty cool. For next up, we actually celebrated the server's first year anniversary not too long ago. You can't really see that much with the sun, sorry. But over here, I made a nyan cat of a lot of the like popular like LGBT flags. So it's just, you know, the regular one, men love men, lesbian, trans, I want to say non-binary, asexual, they might have that order wrong, and then pansexual and bisexual. I also am pretty sure this was in the last Forever World dog, but I made a little bit of a statue of Sylvie's skin, but it's not good, and I need to work on it more, but oh, I'll shoot for do that. Down here by the pier, I don't believe there's a lot of new areas to look at. I know there's the gravel merchant. There's some lore behind this guy, but he basically hates us and sells us gravel, and he hates us a lot. What else is new? There's a little bit of updates down here. Recently we made our own little currency called petunias. It's like Latin for money. And we're just like doing we're kind of like trying to give it out by just having people do like community work. Nothing too interesting here yet. We still made it, so we don't know if it's actually gonna work out or not, but it's pretty cool. Over here, there's been a lot of changes. Earlier today, I was repairing like a lot of the fucked up terrain around this area to just make it look nicer and get rid of the paths. Like the path block, because the path block is ugly as hell. And then over here, I began a actual path, and it's nothing that special, but I like it. It's just a bit naturey, and currently the first destination goes up to Sylvie's house over here. So, just a nice little thing. It took a lot longer to make than it actually looks. And then over here is Sylvie's house, which actually was not in the last Forever World log either. It's this really cool observatory. Oh, I don't know what you're doing here. There's also like a little like map in here. I believe it's smaller than the spawn map, but really cool. And then this is just like a little area that they made. Very cozy. You do need to add some mossy cobble. It also has this really cool telescope over here, and it's made out of copper, which is a very underrated build source. Then somebody made a pale garden over here. I don't know how that really happened, but a lot of it burned down, unfortunately. So that's the thing, I guess. And then over here, the path has a divergence up this way. I still have to finish it. But this is a schematic of like a medieval house that I'm building. Although I do want more block variety, so once I finish the schematic, I am going to be editing a lot. But right now it's very unfinished. Not much to see. So far, nothing big is going on over here. I do have a really big project that I'll get into later, which is why I have a beacon in the middle of the ground down there. But again, I'll get to that later. No updates on the area down here. Oh, right! So somebody planted a massive pale garden over here. Not really massive, but still pretty big. And eventually lightning hit it, and I guess like the entire thing kind of burned down. So after that, I started putting lightning rods around the island because I don't want that to happen to like one of the forests I actually care about, like over here. I actually prevented a forest fire like yesterday because it started in the spruce forest. And then over here, we have a town that Zinnia has been working on called Lucille. It started from me carving out a minor waterfall up there, and it kind of going down this like little river that I dug out. And then she used TNT to make it look like a lot more natural, and made the area just look. Sorry about the dogs. It made the area just look a lot more interesting and like lore accurate to like a muddy river area, and I think it looks really cool. So far, she's not too far into making the town yet, but I think it's really pretty. I'm gonna mute my mic for now. And then over here is the last couple buildings. This is like an outside market area and like a nice little fountain. And then over there is the most recent thing, is a library for the town that she's been working on. That's like a little like representation of like the fireflies. It's pretty cool. It's still under construction. Okay, is that right? Go punch her. Over here is a decent amount of updates. Actually, I never explained why I'm building a new house. Wait one sec. I did not explain why I'm making a new house. It's because I want to move out of the mountain area, because I am still, after all these months, living inside of a mountain that is hardly a home. So that's what we have going on over here. Over here is just a small, over here is a small, little tunnel. That just, like, leads up to this area, and this area is, like, nothing, like, massive. It's, like, a small little grave for my cat, Charlie. I believe this was here in the last river log, but me and Zinnia donated some stuff, including one of her armor pieces. And we just put like a lot of valuables in here for Charbar. I don't believe any big updates have been made to the house. There's still the sheep farm down there that I use every now and then. Over here I have like a concrete machine. Out of that. Basically you just put like your concrete in there, and then the water wets it to wet concrete and you just mine it. Unfortunately, the fastest way wet concrete, there's no good way to do it. And then over here I have netherwort. I don't know if that's new. I think it is. But I don't know for sure. Still nothing really going on in here since Sylvie has her own house, so not much. I do need to mine these finds though for a project. And again, nothing really changed in this house. So then, new changes. I'll show off the twisted garden that Zinnia made. I know I did show off most of her castle before, but this segment was not looked at because it was being saved for something. I forgot what exactly. But this is the twisted garden. It's very interesting. Very pretty. I love all the flowers and just diverse block designs. Especially the use of the crimson and the whatever the blue crimson is. What is this? Oh, God damn it. You know what? I'm just gonna cheat this in. It is warped mycelium. That's what I found out. Or nylium. Right. I would not have guessed the name of that. Oh yeah, and she's also been doing some work to the courtyard where she has the guillotine. Or guillotine, rather. And then this is a previous server that she used to play on, and this was her house. I believe I said it in the last video, but we did cheat those maps in just because no one's making map art for that. So yeah, very interesting area. And then this over here is like a bit of a library that she's been working on. So far, I believe it's complete, but we do want to add like actual books in here. That part is going to take ages to do. But I started one of them. I got into poetry recently, like writing it, and I've been putting some of my poems in there, but there's not that much to see. And I don't want to look into it just yet, because I want to make a video about that eventually and go over the poems, so I don't want to read them just yet. But there's that, and then there's someone's diary around here. Up here is my quarters for like study, or just my study I think it's called, that Z made. I like it. It's a very pretty area. And eventually she added in a plugin to let you sit on chairs, so I can actually like really do my stuff here. It's pretty cool. And then I don't think there's much up here, I don't think. I believe it just leads into the Twisted Garden, but I might be wrong. Right, it does. How about dog right here? A small update, I added a bunch of beacons down here. I put like a shit ton of iron in making a sits beacon. I still need to get 2 more skulls to be able to get the sits one. But you can see that we have everything except for regeneration and resistance as like 2. Right now I just have it split up between those 2, as in like resistance 1, regen 1. And over here is a decent update to the ice area. I believe I went off mentioned having like a path over here, and I actually finished it this time. It has like banners of like a gray eyes and stuff like that, and like a face. Just as like a little pathway up for Charlie's monument. And then this is just a decent view of the place. I did go over that in the last video, so no need to do it now. But over here is like a little like watchtower area that Z built. Has one of the phantom zappers, I believe they're called, that just kills phantoms. But like nothing crazy going on here, just like a bit of etched decoration, which is always nice. It's very pretty. Somebody is making some sort of settlement on this island. I don't know who, but it's blown up, so I guess they're dealing with that. I just found this, and I have no idea what this is. I've never seen it before, and I never heard anyone talk about it, but there's that, I guess. Next area I'll show off is the deep dark area. I just call it the brief dark. I made this like cute little like minecart tunnel for it. It doesn't take too long to get to. Um, but it is a little bit annoying, so I'm gonna speed the video up. I'm gonna pause the or unread. I'm gonna slow down the video here because there's a really pretty segment coming up. Um, but as for like a personal note between all the Minecraft stuff, thankfully my voice is. I'm trying to learn like how to make it more right for me. Um, and I have been making some good discoveries. Unfortunately, it does mean I need to restart of what I've like already learned. To like learn it like a more proper way for what I want to accomplish. As I want to get rid of a lot of the androgyny in my voice and have like a much more feminine sounding voice. But things been doing okay lately, at least. So it's definitely not all bad. And then down here is just the breed start. Since last video, I guess a pretty big like life update is thankfully I don't really get like absurd at like appearance level at least, and not really vocals either. But I'm also very confusing to people. Every now and then I pass as female, which is cool. But most of the time I'm androgynous, which is a lot better for sure. And I'm not super upset about it, but I do want to change it. But it will definitely come with time. But enough about that boring stuff. Over here I have an outline for an area that I want to finish mining. I've mined a good bit, and then my friend Oria online right now. Hadori, she's mined a bunch for me. Although we do need to mine very much upwards because I want to make a mural of like sort of like my profile picture. Because it comes from my favorite music video and one of my favorite songs ever, Skies for Everblue. And I want to make a frame where she's like telling a person like I love you before she dies. Because it means a lot to me emotionally, and I very much like want to spread the message of like say you love the people that you love before, you know, just always in case something horrible happens. You know, there's a lot of things that you can never predict, and it's always good to let the people know that they're loved before they're on that bridge, if that makes sense. So that's going to be in the deep dark down here, and anytime like a pet or, you know, God forbid something happens to somebody that we know passes away, we're going to have this area down here as like a sort of like graveyard of sorts. The reason I put the deep dark is because no mobs can spawn down here, so it's a very peaceful area, and it's going to be like very good grounds to rest in. And there's also a lot of space here, so we can always make like statues to like dedicate people or anything like that. So thankfully we haven't had to use the area yet. I hope that, you know, continues to not change, but I do want to have this sort of ready because I want to be able to, you know, I want to be able to like commemorate and honor people that I love. But enough of that depressing stuff. That is why we have a Haste 2 beacon down here. And not really, not much else to say. I'll go back up the minecart and then show off some other people's bases. But yeah, so a minor thing over here that added was the coord board. It mostly just documents coordinates of like people's like locations in game. That way we like know where they live. Not much has happened here yet, but I will be visiting Isaac's Island real soon, as I do want to show it off. He hasn't done too much with the area, but I do want to show it off. Alright, so over here is the island that Isaac is doing stuff with. Again, nothing that big going on except for shit tons of mobs. But that is a cow pen, or no, chicken pen. Never mind, I got it backwards. That's the chicken pen, that's a cow pen. This is actually where I get most of my leather from. And then right now he's just preparing for a lot of stuff, I guess. Does have a lot of farms going on though. They look very neat. And I do like the design for like the area that he has going. And then over here is another just bit of houses. I do like that he's using the mud blocks a lot. I think the mud blocks are really, really pretty. Ironic, you know, for being mud, but it's a really good building resource. And this whole area just hasn't really been explored that much, as a lot of us are trying to stay on the island right now, just to like build like the main area out before moving on. But it's a pretty neat place. I like it a lot. Just not too much to show just yet. And he has been pretty busy with college, so might not change soon, but eventually. And you know, I do think that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover in the video. Again, not nearly as many updates as yesterday, and a lot of it is just smaller things, sort of like this area. But we do have a lot of plans for the island. We're wanting to use the command blocks and stuff like that to create like statues where you can like give offerings to change the weather, but we haven't really worked it out yet, and we don't actually know if it's gonna be a statue or a church or whatever. But I definitely have a lot of plans, and I'm excited to make the next forever vlog, however many months from now that will be. Maybe even just a month. But let's be real, it's not gonna be just a month, it's gonna be like 12 months before you get the next one. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy, hope you're having a good summer if you're still in summer break, and I will see you next video. I'm not sure when that will be, but